Maimonides' teachings. We are in the book called Ahava, the second book called Love, on ways that we can show love to God. One of the ways is prayer. It's a commandment to pray to God. So let's go right into it. We've started already with the laws of prayer. We're in the 5th chapter. Halacha number 1. A person who prays must be careful to tend to the following 8 matters. However, if he is pressured, confronted by circumstances beyond his control, or transgresses intentionally and does not attend to any of them, they are not of absolute necessity. They are standing. We're talking now specifically the Amida, the Shemona Esrei. Amida actually means to stand, right? It is that prayer where we take 3 steps back, 3 steps forward, and stand before the Almighty. And yes, we are standing. Now, if you can't stand because of being sick, or sometimes you're traveling and you can't, in a car and you can't stand, so that's what he's saying, it's not absolute. Facing the temple. So if you're here, North America, you got to face east towards Israel. If you're in China, so you're going to face west towards Israel, towards the Holy Temple. Okay. Preparation of the body. We'll see. All these details we're going to see shortly. Proper clothing, proper place, control of his voice, bowing, and prostration. Okay. Standing, what is implied? Generally, one should pray only while standing. Again, we're speaking about the Amida specifically, even though there's other parts of prayer that we have today, but it's specifically that. Thus, a person sitting in a boat or in a carriage should stand if he is able to do so. If not, he may sit in his place and pray. A person who is ill may pray even while lying on his side, provided he is able to have proper intention. Similarly, one who is thirsty or hungry is considered as one who is ill. Therefore, if he is able to consecrate properly, he should pray. If not, he should not pray until he's eaten or drunk. Right. Well, as a matter of fact, we do that today, especially like on Shabbos, where you daven later. If you're davening early, it's not such a problem. But like on Shabbos, the service is over. Here it's over after 12, 12:30, sometimes even later. That's a long time to go without eating something. So what's going to be is your mind is going to be on food. So you're going to pray in order to eat. It's better to eat in order to pray. So therefore, you should eat something in order to give you the strength that you don't have to divert your attention to your hunger pangs. Right? One writing in it, so one riding an animal should not descend from the animal even if he has someone to hold the animal. Rather, he should sit in his place and pray so his mind will be settled. That's interesting. To see what that means. Whoops. Because what's going to happen, you're going to be preoccupied with your animal because you're holding it rather than on it. So therefore, you should sit and pray on your animal because you're going to be much more settled. And that's more important, that you should be settled in your mind for your prayers. 3. Facing the temple, what is implied? A person standing in diaspora should face Eretz Yisrael and pray. One standing in Eretz Yisrael should face Jerusalem. One standing in Jerusalem should face the temple. One standing on the temple should face the Holy of Holies. A blind person, one who is unable to determine the proper direction for prayer, or one traveling on a boat should direct his heart towards the divine presence and pray. Right, so, because if you're on a boat, you might not know where directions are. You might not have someone to be able to ask. Right, so you don't know what's going on. You can tell by the sun in the sky, maybe. Whatever, cloudy day. There's a point being, if you're in a position that you don't know, so just have intent that the divine presence is next to you and you're praying in that direction. All right. Number 4, preparation of one's body. What is implied? When one stands in prayer, he should place his feet together side by side. He should set his eyes downwards, as if he is looking at the ground, and his heart upwards, as if he's standing in heaven. His hand should be resting on his heart, with the right hand clasped over the left hand, like this. We don't do that. Chabad, at least. Kind of put our hands on. I mean, you could do that if you like. Why we don't do it? And there's other opinions on how to do it. And for whatever reason, I'm not. I think, yeah, the Rebbe doesn't do it this way. So. But when one stands in prayer, he should place his hands and feet side by side. He should have his eyes downwards, looking at the ground. Right, heaven. His hands should be resting on his heart, with the right over the left. He should stand like a servant before the master, in fear, awe, and dread. He should not rest his hands on his hips. Well, like, put your hands on the hips like this is like haughty, like someone's very full of themselves. Proper clothing, what is implied? One should adjust his clothing to make himself neat and presentable before praying, as implied by the verse, bow to God in resplendent holiness. Okay. So proper clothing is to be neat, presentable, bow to God with resplendent holiness. Okay, one should not pray wearing only his undershirt, bareheaded or barefoot. If it is the custom of the people of that place to appear before the most respected people wearing shoes. Okay, in all places, one should not hold tefillin in his hand or a Torah scroll in his arms during the Amidah, since he will worry about them. Right? So don't do that. One should not hold utensils or money in his hand. However, he may pray while holding a lulav on Sukkot, since it is a commandment of the day that you could do. If he is carrying a burden of less than 4 kabin on his head, when the time for the Amidah arrives, okay. If one is carrying a burden less than 4 kabin on his head, the time the Amidah arrives, he should throw it over the shoulder and pray. If it is larger than 4 kabin, he should place it on the ground and then pray. It's customary for all sages and their students to pray only when wrapped in a talis. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Thank you, folks. God bless you all.